Namaste everyone. Welcome to May 2025 WHP session conducted by Ayurveda Academy. Myself Dr. Deepika. I am Vaidya volunteer at Ayurveda Academy and I am practicing Ayurveda in Mysore. So today uh, actually we were ready to start the session sharp at 2 o'clock, but we were expecting more people to join at on time, but since many months we have been seeing that people are not joining on time, and it's not good to see. So we were waiting till now, but even then, now also we have only 16 members, out of which many of you are belong to doctor community, Ayurveda doctors only. So this purpose of this WHP session is to reach as many public as possible, so that they get to know the information, knowledge, wisdom about Ayurveda, the life science, and they can apply in their life and they can improve their well-being. So if that is not reaching, we have to question, we have to rethink uh, about the session, continuing the session. So if you are coming across any problem or any challenges to join the session on time or every time, please share with us so that we can look for the solution and give our best. So with this, let us not delay. Uh, Actually, we are taking your questions from last month, which you had asked. So we were discussing a few of the questions in the last session. One of you had asked how to know what dosha is imbalance in our body, how to um, uh, we ourselves know that uh, vata is imbalance in my body, or pitta or kapha, and how to tackle them in the first place. So in the last session we had discussed how to raise our self awareness in with respect to our physical body, with respect to our sense organs, and also with respect to our mind. So we did an activity also, which showed us that okay, we were not that self aware or self conscious all the time. We ignore the signs or the indications that are sent by our body or mind or our sense organs, and that is how we miss so many symptoms that starts to come up even before the disease or disease condition is has occurred. So when we miss those first symptoms, which is the sign of future coming disease condition, then uh, then we have to depend on other outer external sources like laboratory reports, or some doctors or someone else to show that something is wrong in our body or in our sense organ or in our mind. So, with that activity, I hope everyone could practice it every day and raise your self awareness at least 1% than before. So, after that, we had few other questions which came in the flow, and we discussed solution for it. And today we are taking other questions which you had asked in the previous sessions. So, to answer those questions, few of the questions, we have Dr. Prashant Gokhale with us today, and he will be sharing his insights regarding the questions that you have asked. I welcome Dr. Prashant Gokhale to the session.
Namaste. Namaste everyone. So let us take some of the questions. We have very big list of questions, but many of the topics actually covered in last 1 year of women health education program. But still, we will take one by one from our list. The first is there is one question about Viruddhahara. What is Viruddhahara? See, whenever we eat any type of food, the food has to be digested properly, then it has to be absorbed. The absorbed food that has to give the required nourishment to the body, and the waste material whatever is generated, that has to be excreted through the proper channel. This is the routine or normal work or function of the digestive system and mechanism of absorption and metabolism in our body. But sometimes what happens, the food, either it will not be completely digested, but whenever it is not properly digested, it has to be excreted if it is not digested properly, because of course if there is no digestion, proper digestion means there will be very poor absorption and it will not give sufficient nourishment to the body, isn't it? If the food is not properly digested but still it is not eliminated properly from the body, means the part of the food which is not digested properly but not at all excreted also, it will stay in our body in one or the other form. In toxin form it will remain inside the body, and that will not give any nourishment to the body. At the same time it will not be excreted, it will be there in our body just like a foreign body, isn't it? So that acts as a poison inside our body, because it will not nourish the body but it causes harm to our body. And because of this there will be vitiation of or imbalance of the doshas vata pitta kapha. So that is called as viruddha ahara, means sometimes the various methodology of food intake causes this kind of problem. This is viruddha. Viruddha means opposite. Though our digestive system is good, but still sometimes because of the particular food that we eat, or the food, the particular method in which we eat, or the food, the combination of which, the wrong combination, because of that wrong combination, or the place in the wrong place, wrong time, etc. Though the digestion is good, because of these factors, it may become non-digestive and cause harm to the body. Such kind of practices which can create this type of harm to the body is called as viruddha ahara. Let me give an example. My digestive system is very nice, absorption is also good, but still if I take milk and I don't like sugar, that's why what I feel, I will add little salt to the milk and drink. The salt is also good for the health, the milk is also good for the health, but the combination of salt and the milk and salt combination together, if we consume, then that becomes a viruddha ahara. As soon as these two get mixed, sanyoga, it is called as sanyoga, something happens, some reaction happen inside that, and that will cause, create a problem to the body. And as it is, it will not be excreted. If it is not properly digested, it will not excreted also. Even if it gets digested, part of it, it will remain inside, which will not nourish the body, neither it will be excreted. And as a foreign body, as a toxin material, it will get collected in the body. And this is due to the combination of milk with the salt. Similarly, milk and any type of sour food, very sour fruit milkshake, so anything like that, that is also called as Viruddha Ahara. Honey is a very best food item, but if we heat the honey and take, it acts as a Viruddha. If we put honey to very hot water or hot milk or anything which is hot, then also it becomes Viruddha. The fish and consumption of fish and the milk together, that also acts as a Viruddha. Similarly, equal quantity of ghee and honey and ghee in equal quantity consumption, that also acts as Viruddha. So there are many such type of Viruddhahara. There is a practice that at the end of the food, usually we eat uh, the buttermilk and rice. If the buttermilk is too sour, there is a practice in certain area that they will add little milk to that to balance, to neutralize the excessive sourness. But again, the too much sourness and the the milk, that combination itself is called as Viruddha. Similarly, just just now prepare, now there is a fashion that ice cream with jamun, right? Just now prepared very hot jamun, kept over the ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and having it together. Extreme temperature, too much hot and too much cold together, mixing and having it, that is also called as Viruddha. Of course, there are various types of Viruddhahara: Sanyoga Viruddha, Desha Viruddha, Kala Viruddha, Virya Viruddha, etc. That detail, let us not go in detail about all these details, but usually in our day-to-day life, which are the common Viruddhahara that usually seen is milk and sour fruits or milkshake, then honey, using it with any hot water or anything which is hot, then mixing buttermilk with the milk to reduce its sourness, like this, or uh, combination of too much extreme hot and extreme cold. So these, yeah, there is one question that can be heat milk from direct. Okay, first the milk has to be kept out, then keep it, allow it to come to the room temperature, and then better to heat it after that, instead of directly heating the cold milk. Instead of that, better to keep it outside for some time, not only for milk, even for fruits. If we are keeping, then anything that which we keep in the fruit, anything before using it, better to allow it to room temperature. And sometimes what happens, knowingly or unknowingly, we will be taking, we were taking, we are taking, we will be taking the Viruddhahara. And many of times we might not be knowing whether it is right practice of having the food, or it is Viruddha. Then what to do? There are two, three things that we must uh, always observe. Even we consume Viruddhahara, even if the toxins gets collected in our body, there are various methods to detoxify our body, even in our regular day-to-day practices. like always having food only when there is hunger. This is the first method. Why? Because there is a shloka. Aharam pachati shikhi. Shikhi means Agni. Agni means the digestive fire or the digestive enzymes, whatever we call it. What is its function? What is the normal function of the Agni which we have inside our body? Its function is to digest the food. That is called as Aharam pachati shikhi. Doshan ahara varjitaha. If you give less food or if you don't give food, then what it does? This Agni will continue to do its function, but it needs some kind of fuel. You are not giving the fuel food, then what it does? It will search whatever is there. If at all there is in undigested material, that will be digested first. Then if those undigested food materials also gets properly digested, still if you don't give any food, then what happens? It will start digesting or burning the normal healthy tissues of our body, and at the end, when tissues are also destroyed, the life will come to an end. It means that there are two aspects. If we keep on going eating even if there is no appetite, still we eat, then what happens means the load over the Agni, that is digestive fire, will be more, and it will be unable to digest the food properly. If we restrict the quantity of the food and we take precautions about the timings of the food, that is only we eat at the time of the appetite when we feel hunger, then what happens? The capacity of the digestive fire will be more and the fuel will be limited. What we give, it will completely burn the food. Means the chances of becoming, even if we small amount of viruddhahara we take, but the capacity of our Agni is so much that it will not allow or it will not become the viruddha and gets deposited in our body. And there is usually weekly once fasting, one time fasting. If we have that practice of fasting, at the time of fasting what happens? We are not giving any food, then the Agni which is there inside our body, whatever unwanted toxins collected because of last 1 week's food variations etc or digestive imbalance etc, those toxin also will get digested. So regular, at least weekly once one ahara kala, that is preferably night, if we do fasting, that also will reduce the ill effect of the viruddhahara that we consume. Then third one, the best method is to reduce the ill effect of the viruddhahara in our body is to do proper exercise. You know, when we do regular exercise, the fat will burn, we sweat, there will be profuse sweating etc. These are all the methods of excretion of unwanted things from our body. So proper exercise also will reduce the ill effect of the viruddhahara or the toxins which are collected in our body. And the last one, fourth one, and for these three, that is taking only food at proper time considering your appetite. Second one, weekly once one ahara kala fasting. Third one, regular exercise. These three everyone at their home can practice. The fourth one is, for this one you need advice from Ayurveda Vaidya. We have in Ayurveda there is a concept called as Rutu Shodhana, that is detoxification of the body at regular interval. In a year there are three different seasons when we can detoxify our body. That is in Vasanta Rutu, nearby Yugadi, by performing the Vamana Karma, in one among the Panchakarma Vamana Karma, that helps in detoxifying our body. Then in September, October, near Dasara time or during the Deepavali Dasara time, that Sharad Rutu Virechana, by giving medicine for purgation, detoxification of the medicine, just prior to the starting of the monsoon, that is May end to June first or second week, Basti Karma, which is nothing but the medicated enema. That is Vamana, Virechana, and Basti are three major body purificatory methods, Panchakarma procedures or detoxification methods. Only in case of if the more accumulation of the doshas, more accumulation of the toxins are present in our body, then as per your advice of the your Vaidya, you can undergo the Panchakarma therapies. So there are four modalities to reduce or nullify or remove the ill effects of the Viruddha Ahara. So this is about the Viruddhahara. What is Viruddhahara? And so some of the examples of common Viruddhahara, and then certain methods to eliminate the ill effect of that Viruddhahara. Yeah, next question is about chilies. The how frequently we can use chilies. This is one question raised by one of the participants. See, when we go back to the history, even in Ayurveda, the lot of explanation is seen about ginger, pepper, garlic, etc. Lots of spices explanation we found in Ayurveda. Whereas in detail explanation of these chilies, very limited explanation of these chilies. Why? Because the benefits, the health benefits are more for ginger, pepper, etc. And as we all know in our history, in ancient times in India, especially, we were using for all our cooking purposes, maximum used spices were the pepper, ginger, etc. And later this chili came into practice. So ideally speaking, instead of chilies, using other Indian origin spices is very good and healthy. But still now it's a practice that's in so many times, so many years we are using these chilies and we are addicted to it. Then how about these chilies? What is the quality of this chili? See, whether it is green chili, red chili, or any type of chili, the quality is almost the same. That is the Tikshna Guna, Ushna Guna, that which vitiates the pitta, increases the pitta, and causes, there is a tendency of causing ulcers in the intestine. There is every possibility of causing perrectal bleeding or other disorders of bleeding. See, there is every possibility of occurrence of these diseases if we use chilies more in quantity. But still, comparatively, uh, the red chilies, that is the dried one, it causes dryness, more dryness into the body than the green chilies. And these fresh green chilies, they are also more stronger than the red chilies. So this is the little difference that we see in the references of Ayurvedic books. Otherwise all chilies, it is Tikshna, Ushna, that which increases the Pitta dosha. So as far as possible, it is better to reduce the quantity of chilies, reduce the, and then replace it with ginger, pepper, etc. wherever we need. So this is about the chilies. There is one more question regarding the vegetables, means the uses of different parts of vegetables, means in vegetables which part has which quality. See, there is a general rule mentioned in Ayurveda. पत्रे पुष्पे फले नाले कंदे च गुरुता क्रमात्. Number one, rule number one. Patra, leaves. Pushpa, flowers. Phala, fruit. Nala, the stalk. And the kanda, that is tuber. Guruta kramat. Kramat means as we go to the next one, it will become more and more heavy to digest. Means if we are using some leafy vegetables, leaves are used, it is comparatively easy to digest. Maximum very heavy to digest are all the tubers, whether it is potato, carrot, or anything which all the tubers. The tubers are very heavy to digest. So first one, the lightest to digest is the leaves, then flowers when used as vegetables, then actually fruits, that is gourd family, etc. All, then the stalk, spring onion, etc. And last one is the tuber. And apart from this, see, whenever one vegetable, I think we spoke about this in last sessions, the general qualities of the vegetables and some specific vegetables in detail qualities already we discussed. So whenever we tell the qualities of any vegetable, actually this quality is for whole plant. Of course, if the useful part of that vegetables is leaves or fruit, but still the qualities are more or less same to the entire plant. But still, if there is a taste difference in the taste, means when the fruit in unripened stage, if it is very sour, then gradually it becomes sweet. Of course, when it is sour, its quality is different. When it becomes completely ripened and it becomes sweet, then its quality is different. And I think we discussed about the taste, all the six rasas, madhura, amla, lavana, katu, tikta, kashaya, and each taste has its own impact on the doshas. So whenever we use different parts of the vegetables, like just outer skin, if the outer, when we peel out the skin of particular a fruit or vegetable, maybe all gourd family vegetables, when we take out the skin, that it has very either bitter or astringent in taste. So the astringent taste has some effect on our body, so that we discussed already. So the same effect will be there on our body when we use these different parts of the vegetables. The next question is details about pulses and the sprouts. Pulses are very important bodybuilding blocks in our body. Why? Because they are very rich in proteins, and we know that the food becomes complete only when the cereals or the rice, etc., rice, wheat, etc., are used with the these pulses. Rice and dal, a perfect combination. Roti and dal means in our traditional food also there is a combination. Whenever we use cereals ಅಥವಾ ಏಕದಳ ಧಾನ್ಯ ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ, along with that we will use some sprouts, pulses or ದ್ವಿದಳ ಧಾನ್ಯಗಳು. ಆ ಏಕದಳ ಧಾನ್ಯ ದ್ವಿದಳ ಧಾನ್ಯಗಳ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಬೋಹೈಡ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೋಟೀನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಆರ್ ಒಂದು ಕಫವನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಫವನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ದೀಸ್ ಟು ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಆಹಾರ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ, ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ chapter Anna Swarupa Vijnaniya Adhyaya, in that there is an order. First they explained about all cereals starting from rice, entire one group. After explaining that, next one group they mentioned about all the pulses. So the first and foremost dhanya grain which is important to our body is the cereals, and next after cereals, which is most important, it is pulses. So all pulses along with the cereals, very important, very healthy to have this in our food, and one must have these pulses along with the cereals in our food. In pulses, the best one which can be consumed by all age group in almost all, whether the person is healthy or he is sick, even in that condition, if one pulse which can be used 365 days by each and everyone, it is moong dal, that is green gram. So this is the, in pulses, the best one, the most healthy pulse is called as the moong dal. And next comes, of course, tur dal, which is called as adhaki in Ayurveda or Samskrita bhasha. So, in general, let us not stick on to the moong dal only. All the pulses have certain common qualities. That is, first of all, it reduces, it pacifies the kapha dosha. Kapha. So one who is suffering from frequent cough with a lot of sputum, even for mild cold, seasonal changes, running nose, nose block, heaviness here, etc. So for them, actually, this dal is very good. Even those who are suffering from respiratory, some allergic rhinitis maybe, or wheezing problem, etc. For them, usually these dal are considered as best. Why? Because all these have one common quality, that this reduce the kapha dosha. But again, when we have different varieties of dal, moong dal, tur dal, let us take an example of moong dal, at least moong dal, tur dal, and then horse gram, then urad dal, which we use commonly. In that, the urad dal is considered as heavy to digest, and it causes increase in kapha, whereas all other dals reduce the kapha. Where there is one question. Okay. Urad dal increases the kapha, whereas horse gram very good in reducing the kapha. That's why the person who is suffering from wheezing and other respiratory problems, better to use horse gram. But only thing is, there is every possibility of increase of pitta if we use horse gram too much. That's why it is better to take the horse gram, any preparation with the horse gram, better to add little ghee and use. Too much use of dal, any dal, it causes increase of vata dosha. That is the reason why many people tell, if I take large dal in larger quantity, there will be bloating of the abdomen, heaviness feeling in the abdomen, continuous belching, or passing the flatus, etc. Why? Because all dals have the quality of increase of vata dosha in our body. So to pacify this, if we don't want this ill effect of vata, there are two methods. One is to fry the dal with little oil, fry it properly, then use it for cooking. Or whenever we use either rice dal or chapati with the dal, or anything like that, plenty of good amount of ghee we have to use along with the food. That is the a precaution that we can take to reduce the ill effect of all the pulses. Then sprouts, most important is sprouts. Of course, it is very good, very rich in protein, but the thing is, the more protein rich food causes more aggravation of vata dosha. So that we have to always remember. These sprouts are not good to take daily basis. Of course, weekly once, in one meal time, if we take sprout as it is, then no problem. But sprouts are not good to take daily, especially nowadays for children. The parents are forced to take parents forced to take the sprouts because it has very rich in protein. But remember, too much consumption of the sprouts can affect the vision, and it dries the body. That's why the continuous usage, over usage of sprouts should be avoided. ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕೋಸಂಬರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಕೋಸಂಬರಿಯಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಯಿ ತುರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರಸಗಳನ್ನು, ನಿಂಬೆಹಣ್ಣಿನ ರಸ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಈ ಥರ ಸೇರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಬೇಳೆಯ ಇಲ್ ಇಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅದು ತಡೆಗಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬೆಟರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೌಟ್ಸ್ ಡೈಲಿ. Then these, of course, those who are very obese, for them these pulses, we can prepare powder of these pulses and can be used as bathing powder. Very good to uh, reduce the weight, to burn the fat, to liquefy the fat. So this can be used as bathing powder. This is in general about the sprouts and pulses. Okay, now one more question. What is nutrition deficiency? Causes of nutrition deficiency. See, as per the modern science, there are two types of nutrients which we consume daily: macronutrients and micronutrients. That is, carbohydrates, fat, proteins, etc. are called as the macronutrient, which are required in large quantity. Whereas the minerals, vitamins, etc. are called as the micronutrient. The requirement is very less. Now let us come to our traditional food. See, if in let's just imagine a South Indian, typical South Indian meal. There will be rice, dal, vegetables, right? Along with that, of course, we have seasonal fruits. We use ghee in our food, or at least to fry, we use different oils. It means that in all food items, there will be cereals, pulses, vegetables, fruits, and fatty food, that is oil or ghee. Whatever traditional food that we consume, actually it is the balanced diet, and in that diet all required carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, fats, minerals, everything uh, we get we get all the required nutrients. The poorest poor person, if he is taking just rice and some dal, even for him, actually he will get whatever minimum required nutrition to the body. Nowadays we are too much health conscious people, and too much health conscious people we are, and whenever we go to the market to purchase the fruit, keeping all these nutritional aspects only, the parents will purchase the fruit, and keeping everything, they'll feed their kids also. So this fruit having this vitamin enrich, this is the protein rich, this is mineral rich, like that. In spite of doing everything, but still if we go to the laboratory and check, there will be vitamin B12 deficiency or D3 deficiency, etc. And the people themselves, they tell, since childhood I am taking this food regularly, I consume milk regularly, I consume this food which is rich in calcium, but still the report shows that calcium deficiency is there, vitamin B12 deficiency is there. Do you think really because of starvation this thing happen? No, right? We take all varieties of food, all nutritious food, but still it happens, means the problem is not with the food item which we take. All food we take, it is rich source of all required nutrition, but our digestion capacity is not enough to digest, assimilate, absorb all these nutrients. That is the major problem today. This then how to make this digestion and absorption better, and only one solution is the same one which I mentioned in the last, that in the context of viruddhahara, that is, it the quantity of the food doesn't matter, and the variety of nutritious different nutritious food never matters. How much you are able to digest and absorb, that matters a lot. So the regular, see, we know one thing: demand and supply. If there is more demand, suppose our body tissues are doing regularly exercise, they are very active. Each and every cell cry for food. Give me food. Give me food. Give me food. Right? Uh, a dog, a street dog, which did not get any food since 2 days, and suddenly it comes to your gate, whatever you feed it, it will eat. On the contrary, the pet dog, for which every day we give highly that the dog food itself, see the difference. It will eat whatever you give, it will eat, and it will remain active. Means there is a lot of demand. It does the activity, there is a lot of demand. Similarly, when we do proper exercise, when each and every cell of our body from top to bottom, each and every cell is, if it is very much active, then it will demand for its required food. When there is more demand, whatever there, whatever eat we food, whatever eat, it will digest very fast. The absorption is also will be very fast, isn't it? See, sometimes for children, of course, for the children, we need to pamper the children. We tell everything smoothly to the children, but sometimes punishment is also important. If you punish once or twice, then the third time the kid will understand by its own, right? So sometimes what happens, keep ourselves busy, keep each and every cell active in our body by exposing to the sunlight, by doing proper exercise all time from morning till evening, keeping our body, mind, sense organs active, then automatically the absorption power of our body increases, and there will not be nutrition deficiency. Suppose there is a nutrition deficiency, when you go to the doctor, we find in our laboratory investigation so many nutrition, there is a deficiency. Even in that condition, of course, when there is actual deficiency, the doctor may suggest you to take some supplements, but those supplements are once again temporary. Why? Because it's a ready-made food that we give. Those supplements can work for 1 week, 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, etc. Then once the stock is over, once again there is a chance of deficiency, because we have not improved our digestion, we have not improved our absorption capacity. So it is better to work on increasing our absorption capacity than thinking which food is rich in which nutrition. Then one more question, whether to take raw vegetables or should we boil the vegetable? Yes, very important. Uh, Very simple. Raw vegetables heavy to digest, cooked vegetables easy to digest. So it is not completely contraindicated that you should never take raw vegetables. That is also wrong. But see, whenever we take a rice and rasam or rice and buttermilk, along with that we may take little pickle. How much pickle? In a very small quantity of pickle. Rice is this much, and pickles is this much. That is not right. Correct. Means these vegetables, if we are taking raw vegetables, see, in our traditional food, we just see, if you go to North Karnataka, roti, that is jawar roti, jawar roti, that chutney pudi, etc., along with that one or two pieces of this cucumber, one slice of onion, like that. It means it is just a side dish in a small quantity according to our digestion capacity we can take. But nowadays, what has happened is one chapati and large bowl of raw vegetables. That concept is not correct. Why? Because see, the vegetables, especially, they are rich in fibrous content, and fibers doesn't give any nutrition to the body. Remember, see, macronutrients and micronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, etc. But fiber is actually not considered as major nutrition because it doesn't give any nutrition, but it is required. It is required for the proper digestion and proper evacuation. For that, it is required, but it will not itself, it will not give any nutrition to the body. That's why these fiber rich food, especially the raw vegetables, which are very rich in fibers, that should be along with our main meal, that should not become the major part of our food. And of course, if your digestion capacity is very good, then along with food you can have the raw vegetables. But if you have any digestive issue, frequent vomiting, acidity symptoms, then irritable bowel syndrome, IBS like symptoms, sometimes feeling of passing the stool immediately after food, or even if little spicy or outside food is taken, then there will be stomach upset. That such conditions suggest that the digestive system is very poor. In that condition, definitely having raw vegetables continuously is not a good habit. Better to boil it, cook it, and then have. What is arthritis? What are all the general causes of arthritis? Arthritis. Arthritis is a name which is given to the inflammatory changes which happen in our joints. Inflammation of joint is called as arthritis. Itis means inflammation. Of course, in itself, it is a very big topic. Uh, Arthritis, very various types of arthritis are there, and arthritis of each and every type. The cause is different, symptomatology is different, and the line of treatment is different. But still, instead of calling it as arthritis causes and solution, how to take care of our joints, I think that's better. Because if we know how to take care of our joints, then we can prevent all any type of arthritis. So to this we should know how a joint is made up of, and all of us we know that it is two or more bones, and they are connected in such a way that to avoid friction there will be some liquid, and it will all three parts or two parts or more than three bones, they will be capsulated in such a way that even in the moment they do not go apart. So certain body parts they connect each other so well. The liquid part, which is very much essential for the binding of the bones, is called in Ayurveda, it is nothing but one variety of kapha. It is called as kapha only. So when there is either too much decrease in the kapha or vitiated kapha accumulation in the uh, joints, both of these condition may lead to the arthritis, any type of arthritis it may lead to. So what we need to take care is, one is kapha. Number two, when two or more bones and other organs they come close together, if they has to, all of them have to stay together, there should be some other tying object. And of course there is a material inside that joint which is like a rope which ties actually the joint. You might have seen in many MRI reports that they the report tells that this ligament is teared or this ligament is cut, like that you might have seen. It is nothing but what is the function of these ligaments? There are tendons, ligaments, etc. What is the function of this? They actually bring together the two bones. From one bone to another bone they connect together, and they make sure that the more than one or more than two, these bones are joined together properly. So one is the liquid portion, that is kapha. Second one is these tendon and ligaments. These two are very important. Then how to take care of these, the health of this? See, if the door is closed and not opened for 1 month or 2 months, you went out and the door is locked, and after 1 or 2 months when you come and try to open the door, it will make sound, isn't it? Then what we will do? We put little oil to that joint, and after that 2 3 times when we open and close the door, then the sound reduces. The joints are like that only. The joints stay healthy only when we give proper exercise to these joints. Means joint, all movements of the joints. We have a daily, on daily basis there should be some minimum exercise to the joints, so that all types of the joint movements. See, we may be sitting in the office continuously from morning till evening. We are sitting in the office and just doing computer work. Then what happens is only our finger joints they will move, right? No other joints are active. Similarly, according to the profession, some of the, for tailor, only the knee joint, the calf muscle, and other part will be moved. All other part will be stiff. So one of the method to make the joints healthy is to have an exercise for the joints at least to 5 to 10 minutes. Keep 5 to 10 minutes on daily basis to see to it that all your joints are performing their action well. Right, in ancient times, see what have everyone, they used to go to their agricultural fields, they do different works, and by doing all these different works from top to bottom, all the joints in one or the other way they get the exercise. But nowadays, because of sedentary life, many joints they do not move at all, or do any action at all. So then this is the number one that we have to do. Second thing is application of oil. As we saw, pouring drop by drop oil to the hinges of the door, that will make the movement of the door easy. Similarly, daily applying oil, that is oil massage to the joints. Daily, if we do the oil massage, that will increase the mobility of the joint, and whatever the toxins which are collected, as we spoke in Viruddhahara, there is, see, if because of the Viruddhahara, if that toxin comes and gets accumulated in the joint, then joint problem starts. Regular doing oil massage and taking hot water bath, what it does is that toxins will be removed from the joints. So one is exercise, second thing, and preferably first applying oil then doing exercise. That will more beneficial than this. So this is second tip to take care of our joints. Third one, as I mentioned, too much drying, too much oily means increased kapha and reduction of kapha both affects the joints. In case of old age, there will be degenerative changes, and that is called as osteoarthritis, means age related degenerative changes. In this condition, what happens? The liquid part, the fluid part, which is very essential, gradually it decreases. And now what happens? There is no fluid in between the bones, so there will be friction. When there is movement, there will be friction between the bones, and because of that severe pain starts. It means that we should not allow to reduce the kapha in the joints. For this, what we need to take care of? Ghee, regular usage of ghee in our food is very good to take care of the health of the joints, because it acts as a grease, right, for flow free movement. So regular usage of ghee is very important. At the same time, uh, we have to take care of other few things also. Excessive usage of too dry foods, chats maybe, or excessive use of these pulses sprouts, especially the sprouts. Over usage of the sprouts can cause degenerative changes in the joints, low back pain, knee joint pain, etc. Consumption of too much bitter. For example, tomorrow I may get diabetes. That's why I take precaution from today itself. Daily morning after jogging, one round jogging in the park, at the end I will have one bitter gourd juice, one glass of juice. Extreme bitter, the continuous usage of that, what it does, it reduces the kapha, that fluid part which is very essential to the joints. The amount of that will reduce, and that itself will become a cause for the joints pain or low back pain or back pain in the neck. Sometimes this movement also, neck movement, sudden movement of this, some people tell there will be giddiness if I do fast movement of the neck. All this suggests there is a degenerative changes in the joints. So for healthy joints, regular ghee in our food, and as far as possible, that the food which causes extreme dryness inside our body, the too much consumption of the bitter food, bitter taste food, and astringent taste food, that has to be reduced. Better not to take the all, whatever we read in WhatsApp, whatever we read in social media, etc. Daily taking one spoon of this spices powder, dalchini powder in hot water, very good. Lemon tea is very good, or hagalkai rasa is very good, or roadside if there is amrutaballi ele, 8 to 10 amrutaballi ele tinodu, or sometimes that giloy giloy ras, that decoction or swarasa taking, etc. All this bitter and astringent consumption daily is very, very unhealthy practice. Of course, those who are very much obese, those who have detected just diabetes, or those who have skin problems, etc., they can consume this, but once again, on advice of the doctors. This this is the third thing. Fourth thing, there are two types of joint problems, inflammation. One is because of reduced amount of that fluid. Second one is increased amount of that fluid. Sometimes you might see the joint is swollen. When you place a finger, you will see a depression over there. It means that because of inflammation, too much collection of the fluid inside, and sometimes the doctor will tell the fluid has to be taken out from the joint, etc. This is another category of joint inflammation, where there will be excess collection of the fluid in the joints. And what is the reason for this? Again, the reason is completely opposite to the previously discussed causes. Too much consumption of bakery items, too much consumption of oily food, too much consumption of the curd, too much consumption of the banana, too much consumption of the udad dal, daily dosa, idli, etc. Uh, Means all food which increases the kapha, and even if there is no appetite, still eating, frequently eating without digestion of the previous food, once again consuming the food, that is also one of the cause. Sleeping immediately after lunch, that also causes excess accumulation of the kapha in the joints, so that also has to be avoided. And one most dangerous thing is immediately after food doing some exercise, sometimes walking, too much walking, or especially this happens in the school going children. They come for lunch to the home, and the school is 2 kilometers away from the home. Immediately in the lunch break, they use their bicycle and come to the home, and immediately after food, they once again using their bicycle to go back to the school. Means when we ride the bicycle, most exercise it happens to the joints, right? Knee joints. Then what happens immediately after food? If any kind of heavy exercise if we do, then there is every chance of accumulation of undigested food material, or this the toxin which is produced because of undigested food material, that will go and accumulate in the joint. So that also has to be avoided. At least for half an hour one should take rest, and then any type of other work has to be done, that has to be done only after half an hour. So this is one another variety of the the cause for the inflammation of the joints. So these are the certain aspects of the arthritis and how to take care of this arthritis. Next is gray hairs. Early gray hairs causes prevention and cure. If there is pitta dosha at the bottom root part of the uh, our hair follicles, because of that there are two possibilities, either hair fall or gray hairs. This is direct cause for the gray hairs, increased pitta dosha in our body, especially in this part of the body. So if you are suffering from frequent burning sensation in the eyes, if when you touch your scalp, if it is too much heat, actually it should be always cold. In that, because of this, there is every possibility of early graying of hairs. And of course, generalized cause and localized cause. Localized causes means directly the chemical shampoos that we are use, or any hair oils in which many other artificial aromatic substances and other substances are added, these, or anything hair dye that we use, the local causes, these are the local causes which cause early graying of hair. And sometimes in case of the if a marketing manager or sales representatives etc, they work in too much sunlight, they are exposed to the sunlight, in that condition also there is a chance of early graying of hair. And this sthana always require oil to take care of entire body's health. Here there should be sufficient oil, so not applying the oil to the hair follicles, that also will lead to the early graying of the hairs. These are the local causes. Some generalized causes: sleeping late nights, many habits like overconsumption of the tea, coffee, etc., alcohol consumption, smoking, uh, too much travel. These also can cause early graying of the hairs. Then internally, food habits, extreme junk food consumption, pickles, for example, too much consumption of the pickles, too much consumption of the salt for everything. When compared to the other person, if I need more salt, even for rasam, rice rasam, sambar, or curd rice, etc., if I use more and more salt, that is also a cause for the early graying of the hairs. uh, Not only that, continuously under stress, think overthinking, continuously under work pressure and any other type of tensions or stress, etc., that also may cause early graying of the hairs. Consumption of aerated drinks like cola, Pepsi, etc., these also continuous usage may cause early graying of the hairs. And very especially not using sufficient the unctuous food like ghee or oil in our food, that is also one of the cause for the premature graying of the hairs. Then how can we prevent this? At least the proper application of oil, simple coconut oil or sometimes castor oil is also enough, or you can take any with your suggestion, advice of the doctor, you can take any type of hair oil. Hair oil, number one, always the scalp should be at least the mid part. When you touch it, you should not feel it too hot, it should be cold. And if this part, the scalp, this part is cold, it means that the health of your brain and entire shiras, it is good, and there is no increased pitta, there is no more temperature here. The more temperature in this part, the fast the gray hair will be. So that we need to take care. Avoid usage of too much hot water for taking head bath. Then, as far as possible, avoid all artificial like chemical based shampoos, oils, or any other serums, etc. Instead of that, use fresh. See, anyway, at least hibiscus leaves, hibiscus flowers. If you have a fresh plant of aloe vera, then you can paste it and apply it to the scalp, and after 1 hour you can take bath. And instead of using too much hot water, either lukewarm water or cold water is very nice for head bath. And second thing, daily at bedtime, make a practice that, so keep a small bottle of coconut oil at your bedroom. When you just go to the bed, take few drops of the coconut oil and apply to the soles of your foot. Soles of your foot, do gentle massage. It has two benefits. Number one, of course, it will give you good sleep. At the same time, it will nourish your hair roots also. Do proper the foot massage. And nasya, you might have heard the word nasya. That is nothing but the uh, putting oil drops, coconut oil drops, especially for this purpose. 4 to 5 drops of coconut oil on each nostril, early morning, after immediately after brushing once, and at bedtime once, doing nasya daily. And remember not to use cell phones when you are sleeping. At least half an hour to 45 minutes prior to going to bed, switch off your mobile or keep the mobile away. So otherwise, that the strain to the eye also causes increase in the temperature of this part. And there is every possibility of, because of the continuous usage of the cell phone at night, That also one of the become major cause for the early graying of the hairs. Keep your dinner as simple as possible, and in night as far as possible try to avoid the pickles or any other too much spicy oily food, and use gooseberry, that is nellikai, in your food. And after dinner, when you go to bed, just 5 minutes before food, if you get fresh amalaki, that is gooseberry or nellikai, eat one nellikai or gooseberry, which is very very good for the health of your hairs. Along with that, internally, uh, we can use ghee in our food regularly. And Triphala Churna, you might be knowing the Triphala Churna, which is available in the market, very good for the hairs also. Triphala Churna with the little ghee and little honey, mix it with, and you can lick at bedtime. That is also one of the best for hair care. And amla candy, which is available with that, which is dipped in the sugar syrup, etc., that also we can use when we don't get the fresh amla. And we can prepare the chutney and different dishes out of using the fresh amla in all the way, very 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 good for the health of the hairs. And most important is at least even check your hemoglobin once, if at all there is a reduced amount of hemoglobin and other health issues, those have direct impact on the premature graying of hair. So try to correct all other health issues first. Whenever you have any other hormonal issues, there are whenever there is thyroid issue, the hair fall will increase. Whenever there is menstrual issues, preponement to postponement of the periods, etc., that also will be associated with the premature graying of the hair. So there are many other systemic health issues which have their direct influence on the growth and health of the hair. So take care of that first. Continuous usage of strong medicines also will affect the will affect the health of the hair. So in generally, that with anything which increases the heat, which increases the pitta, which increases overstrain of our sense organs, maybe ears, loud noise, listening to the loud noise, earphone always, or watching television, mobiles, etc., that is sense organs, eyes, etc., that also will cause the gray hair, premature gray hairs. I think for today, these are the certain list of the questions. I think we can, if at all there are any other questions, we will take up these questions in the next month session also. So today, for today's session, we will wind up this question and answer session. Over to Dr. Deepika.
Sir, I have a question. So, in the session, we were talking about Viruddha Ahara. So, how do we identify Viruddha Ahara in our day to day life, sir?
How do you identify means what? If we are we know which are the combinations, which are the food that might get viruddha, then we can we can just know that as it is, right? So it's
No, there are examples in Ayurvedic texts, but there are only few, right? So, then how can we, the, not all examples are available. So, is there any way that we can identify? Okay, this food is Viruddhahara. is there any determining criterion?
Actually, I'm not getting your question because there are standard items and combinations that are given in text that are viruddha. And those items, if we find those items in our day to day life, food items, then it is obviously viruddha. So, what is the question that you are asking?
No,
I'm not.
see, there are a lot of list of things that are called as viruddhahara, but you know, not all of the things are listed there, right? So in our day to day life now, let's say broccoli is not there, right? Um, eh, let's say ice cream was not there. There are so many food that are not described. So, is there any symptom or is there any criteria with which we can know that okay, this is the viruddha for
Okay, I
us?
got your question now. So, you may not get the exact food item mentioned in the same name itself, but we can get to know about a dravya through its guna and karma. So, we have Ushna, Virya Viruddha concept also. Since you are a doctor, probably I'm answering in technical terms itself. So, if anyone doesn't get the terms, please ask. So we have Virya Viruddha, Guna Viruddha, all these concepts, right? So if we don't know what broccoli called in Samskrita, it's okay, not a problem. But if we get to know what Virya it is, what Guna it has, and then we know other dravyas that are getting combined with that broccoli, then we can infer whether this combination works well or not, or it becomes Viruddha.
So, for example, let's say dahi and salt. You know, uh, people usually make raita and a lot of other things also. But if we see our Ayurvedic texts only, like in Bhavprakash Nighantu, then there is he has mentioned about kadhi, kwathita, right? So, so it doesn't make sense, right? Um, that dahi and lavana are viruddha, and he has explained about kadhi. You're getting my point?
Yes. So you're asking question about whether curd and salt is Viruddha or not.
Um, well, they are, right? They are kadhi, dahi, and salt, right? So there are different types of examples. If we see, uh, for example, let's say ushna and shita, we shouldn't take together. Then in our food, you know some food are of ushna virya, some are shita virya, but we all mix together and eat, right? For example, dals, most of the dals are shita virya. um, let's say some vegetables or some might be, or masalas, let's say masalas are mostly ushna virya. So uh, my question is just, is there any way how can we know, you know whether, well, there are examples, I know, but then is there any other way, as per your experience, or by reading the samhitas, uh, to easily
Okay.
identify for a layman?
Yeah. See, uh, even in text, you I think you have read the Basti Vidhi Kalpana.
Yes, sir.
Honey should not be heated, but in the context of Vamana Karma and in the context of Nirvaha Basti, honey is used with the Ushna only.
Yes, sir.
And author gives the reason why, because the purpose is different, and that honey, in case of Vamana Karma, that honey without undergoing digestion, it will come out. It means that for all Viruddha, there are certain exceptions. Number one. Number two, you were just mentioning about this kadhi, right? Isn't it kadhi, right?
Yes, sir.
You are mentioning there are many such recipes in our traditional food when uh, the one or the other ingredients which is present in that actually acts as viruddha, but as a whole recipe there are many such recipes which if we keenly observe it comes under the category of viruddha. That's what you are trying to tell.
Yes, sir.
Huh. In even in those conditions, actually, see in our shastra only there are certain avaleha kalpana where the combination honey, even after adding honey, heating is advised in certain very specific some of the avalehas. It means that when I use only hot water and honey, it is viruddha. Hot water and honey is viruddha. But just look at the total food that we consume. First, I consume rice and rasam, and I can have little achar. That achar is very sour if it is prepared out of raw mango. And at the end, I will have rice and curd, and followed by an ice cream, or I will drink one payasa, which is made out of milk. Now, milk I will have rice, curd, and salt. I will add little salt. But before that, I will have one cup of payasa, which is made out of milk.
Yes, sir.
There is, see, when we consume as a whole food, our food means from starters till the end. It's a combination of many rasas together, right? Then the author itself tells that, see, this the concept of viruddha, if it is sanyoga viruddha, when we have only two, only milk and some sour taste, if that is the only two thing we are eating, then it is completely viruddha. But when there is too many things, too many food items that we eat, the chances of becoming viruddha becomes less, because the portion of this is very less, and counterpart there are many other things. That is the reason the ill effect will be less. I am not telling that it is 100% correct, but still it is its ill effect is very less, and such type of various food items, food recipes that we get in our traditional food, that we need to see, we need to observe what, which are all the ingredients we add while cooking in this, which is actually viruddha, which is not viruddha, how much ingredient is added, along with that how many other ingredients are there which are not actually viruddha. So it has two much other angles to it. I
Yes,
think
sir.
you got my point, right?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Again, using honey in baking is again Viruddha itself, because honey in whatever form, if it gets heated, then it comes under, sorry, it comes under Viruddha Ahara itself. So baking with honey is not a healthy option. Okay, if there are no other questions, we will conclude today's session. Thank you everyone joining here. We hope the session was useful for all of you, and we could able to answer the questions that you had asked. We will take up other questions, remaining questions, in the next coming session, in next month session. Thank you, everyone. We'll conclude today's session with Swasti Mantra.
स्वस्ति नो मिमीतामश्विना भग स्वस्ति देव्यतिथिरनर्पणाः स्वस्ति पूषा असुरो दधातु न स्वस्तित्यावा पृथिवी सुचेतुनाः स्वस्तये वायुं पप्रवामहै सोमं स्वस्ति भुवनस्य यस्पतिः बृहस्पतिं सर्वगणं स्वस्तये स्वस्तय आदित्यासो भवन्तु नः विश्वे देवानो अद्या स्वस्तये वैश्वानरो वसुरग्निः स्वस्तये देवा अवन्तृभवः स्वस्तये स्वस्ति नो रुद्रः पात्वं हसः स्वस्ति मित्रावरुणा स्वस्ति पथ्ये रेवति स्वस्ति न इन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च स्वस्ति नो अदिते कृधि स्वस्ति पन्थामनुचरेम सूर्या चन्द्रमसा विव पुनर्ददताघ्नता जानता सङ्गमे महि स्वस्त्ययनं ताक्षमरिष्टनेमिं महद्भूतं वायसं देवतानाम् असुरघ्नमिन्द्रसखं समत्सु बृहद्यशो नाभमिवारुगेम अम्होमुचमाकिरसङ्गयं च स्वस्त्या आत्रेयं मनसा च ताक्ष्यम् प्रयतपाणिः शरणं प्रपद्ये स्वस्ति सम्बाधेष्वभयं नोऽस्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ